G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Furious Plasma Cutter with 40% faster swing speed, and we're going to take 15% less damage whilst blocking. That's really good. That's so useful. We're going to be using that all the time, right? No, we won't be. Anyways, so what you are looking at here is one of the new Steel Dawn weapons. The legendary variants are only able to be obtained once you get the plans for these things, and to get the plans, you got to get a decent rating. I think it's Elder, maybe even like the middle one and above. To get a rare plan. And a lot of the rare plans are diluted with a bunch of workshop crap that you'll never actually want to be using, and you'll have like 10 of them before you'll actually see anything that is actually good. And it doesn't matter, the game gives you duplicate plans all the time, so you can have a lot of fun unlocking caged bulb lights 10 times before you get this thing. Oh well. Also, it's got 3 modifications. Got a flaming blade, a electrical blade, and the cryo blade. Now, the Cryo Blade is supposed to slow down stuff, but I tested it extensively against my pet gulpers, and I found that it didn't really freeze things, so I'm guessing you have to hit them like 10 or more times to actually see that in effect. I chose the Flaming one because it gives you the highest damage per swing. The electrical one gives you lowest damage, and it doesn't give you a stun chance like it would, I think, that it would in Fallout 4. And speaking of Fallout 4, if you're looking at this thing and you're thinking, wow, that's familiar, where have I seen this before? If you've ever used the Cross Blades mod, which basically have made this before this thing was in, so, Todd's going ahead and stealing modders' ideas, and let's cut to Fallout 4 for a second just so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, welcome to the magical world of Fallout 4, where we have both mod support and multiplicative damage. You'll notice that I'm wearing a laser sword, and you might be thinking, wow, that laser sword looks familiar. This mod was released ages and ages and ages ago, but I mean, look at it. It's like, try to tell me that it isn't the same thing, or at least heavily inspired by it, but I think this mod has done this weapon better. It also comes with other things as well, like a plasma katana and a crucible blade. It's kind of cool, but mainly this thing, it actually looks like it's salvaged out of old parts of laser rifle. But look, it's just, oh man, it's just like the modders have already done this and they've made it better, so you got to step up your game, Bethesda. So yeah, they're basically the same thing, but my annoyances don't stop there. Remember, there's quite a list here, a little list of grievances. What you are seeing here is just a medium melee weapon. This, for all in the world, could just be a machete with extra stats. That's all it is. It doesn't do anything new, it doesn't do anything super interesting. Enemies can still block it like it would be a machete. I had a crackhead run up to me with a pipe wrench, swung this at him, he blocked it like it was nothing. That plasma blade literally means nothing. It does make a sound though, so if you're an audiophile, you're gonna get your jollies whilst listening to this thing swing all day. It's not like a lightsaber hum though, so it's not as cool as that. But yeah, it's not a weapon that you could probably go out of your way for getting. It's okay, but here's another thing, alright? Look at this Power Fist. Doing 282 ballistic damage with this versus, this is all on spec, 187, so this thing is already superior to it. This thing, being in the game since the start, you can get trades from other players, and it's probably been duped to the high health, but, makes it slightly easier obtained. But this thing is objectively better, and you don't have to grind days and days and days and days to actually get this thing. I mean, in theory, right? But, you're going to have a much higher chance of grabbing one of these things with a good roll than getting one of these things, which is a real shame, because, you go through all this grinding to get these new shiny Brotherhood of Steel, Steel Dawn weapons, and they're just inferior to what's already in the game. So, my question is, what's the point? And on that note, let's go ahead and chuck on some perks now. This is going to be a one-handed melee weapon, so the Gladiator perks will go in nicely, will increase our damage. And we'll also go with Bloody Mess. In agility, we've got a bunch of sneaky perks, because we're going to be prioritizing doing that, because it's a good way of boosting your damage without doing too much to your gameplay other than slowing down a little bit. Makeshift Warrior to make sure this thing doesn't explode on me. And I've got Lone Wanderer. Normally I chuck in Tenderizer, but I want the extra damage resistance that we get out of this for a little bit of survivability. Got Fireproof for explosions, Adamantium Skeleton, so we're not going to get staggered when a thing is broken. And Radical if we happen to get a bunch of rads and rejuvenators there to help out our AP refresh, basically, because what's happening is, being furious, I'm not going to be jumping right in and using all of these melee thingies. Although what I probably could have done is chuck on the instead of brawling, I'd have the weighted, so I get a little bit of armor penetration. But we've already got Incisor anyway, so what could that possibly do to increase my damage even slightly, right? Anyways, so with all of those things added, we've got just like over 160, 167 if we combine those damages. They're probably calculated a little bit differently, but we'll just say 160 for argument's sake. And now this is doing 291, so, you know, again, it's inferior. Oh well, we'll see how we go. So here we are outside of the Greens Party headquarters. We're going to kill some green hippies. Yeah, it's going to be great fun. This is what the plasma blade thing, sword, lightsaber thing looks like. And here's what's going to go down. We're going to try to utilize this in as much in VATS as possible, because that gives us our legendary perks, which I've got 5 out of 5 ranks, 4 out of 4 ranks in the one that's basically coin flip chance to make things explode in VATS, which gives me a lot better damage. Now the problem with doing that is we're not a like unyielding nerd rage thing right now, so we don't have as much agility to use the action points. So, you know, if things are going to be taking up a lot of hits to kill, then we're gonna have a problem, which obviously is where the extra explosion damage comes in. So if we get lucky with that, we can make our attacks a little bit more efficient. And you'll notice right there, in the background there, that super mutant was on fire despite me not hitting him, and that is because yeah, really, that's where he ended up, on the barrel. Yes, the legendary explosion effects, you'll find that they actually carry your damage over time, and now we're doing this much, so, you know, we're getting there. The damage is getting better thanks to adrenaline, but, you know, well, it's actually out-damaging this at this stage, I think, so that's helpful, but I think we'd be doing better if we were using a proper unarmed weapon. Alright, now kill these things. One thing you should probably keep in mind when using VATS is it just doesn't work most of the time, or all of the time. Most of the time it does, but there'll be moments where it just doesn't. That was a delayed explosion. I like how he's like, I killed him, turned around, and then he exploded and did his all somersault. So yeah, we're sparing no expenses on stunt doubles today, apparently. Can dogs get stunt doubles? I guess they'll just get, like, models. I don't know. Wonder what the ethics in the film and TV industry are for dogs and other animals doing stunts and shit. Alright, anyways, so, yeah, we're off to it's a decent start, but, you know, could be doing better. If you ain't first, you're last. I think we've got an extra couple points of agility thanks to the damage that I've taken, as well as strength too, so we'll be looking to finish this off as fast as we can here, utilizing VATS a little bit. Make sure you do it in third person, because when you run up to a target you can't see around them, so it's just a lot easier to see where you're going to plan out your next moves when you're in third person, unless, you know, you get the explosions which blind you for a second, like being flashbanged, except without all of the extra after effects of it. Taking a different route today. Couldn't sprint towards him and get him because I was had no AP, so I kind of jumped in the air all awkward like. And now we're at under half health. We should be getting... Come on, game. Fucking hell. One singular vertice of his 3D model was inside the table, and that means the game's like, nah, can't see him, bro. Even though if I just had to come out of VATS and just started swinging, I would have hit. So, yeah, there's some improvements needed to be made here. Damage improvements would be nice too, but, you know, making the VATS actually work properly is a good step in the right direction. So we're through this first bunch here, and we kind of went around in a different way than usual, so we'll be cleaning up the next bunch. I anticipated that dog to be somewhere else, so now we're going from this side. We are in danger, which is not super ideal. But we'll keep going regardless. There we go. Getting those one-shot kills very useful because, you know, less AP being used, less time being spent. Was there a dog there, or am I going mad? I don't know. Might be going mad. Anyways, seem to be through most of them now. We are sneaking. We almost were able to get that one-shot kill and a demolisher. Maybe damage over time would have finished him off there, but I haven't actually seen too much of an effect from damage over time at all. There's not a lot going on. I'm trying to watch the health bar to see if there's actually a proper, like, burning, but they seem to be getting that visual effect about them, but, well, nothing else there. Yeah, I thought there was an extra dog around. I saw it for a second. Alright. At least with the swing speed, we can make it so the extra time to kill on them is low, with that follow-up swing being very quick. So, you know, that's pretty good. Take that. Alrighty, so we can deal with these guys pretty easily, but I still think that this thing is not worth using over a Power Fist, because the Power Fist does better damage, and it also allows you to equip things like Blocker and Barbarian for even better tankiness, and you're going to be at nerd rage rolls using it, which means you can utilize perks like Radical, perks like Unyielding, Adrenal Reaction, all of that. They're mutations, but still. So, you know, going a little bit like that just to get the damage up, doing just under 420 combined, but again, the difference here is getting greater, although this thing's bloodied though, so we can't really compare it to that. If we unequip it, we're doing 450. So, yeah. We don't actually have to have the bloodied things go into that damage. Also, what is this lighting? What's going on here? Why does she look like she's made of copper? That's weird. Okay, time to kill the ghouls, and the microphone is on. And canonically speaking, this is the first time I've actually recorded, because I messed up my what microphones are installed, because, you know, MSI really wants me to use the SoundTune device, which doesn't actually give me any microphones to record through. Also, I had the mic unplugged, so, you know, running a very professional operation at the moment. But yes, unlike the Super Mutants, these guys are easily falling to one hit, so we could probably just get away with hitting them without using Sneak, which means we can be nice and quick when we go about this. Looks like power attacks are the way to go, however. If we can get the headshots, even better. Whoops. Yeah, power attacks definitely the way to go, and we can easily hold them off. If we get whacked, then that's extra adrenaline. Maybe even down to nerd rage threshold. Not ideal though, we don't have block or any of the other defensive perks to help us survive a lot, so if we get jumped on top of, then it's not going to be easy. Hitting them for 800 in the head and they're not dying in one shot probably means bad hit detection. He goes down in one. 1200 to the noggin. Pretty good. Just keep on bonking them. Alright. Keep on going. And got a fat ass in here. He's going to take a few more hits than usual. I was hoping to get a stagger out of that, but, you know, we only got hit once and proc serendipity, so I guess we don't need to learn from that mistake because we got through it properly. Alright, so that was fairly quick against the ghouls. We were able to run in and get them before, you know, they were spawning in and before they were able to get on top of me and overwhelm me. So, you know, crowd control against a lot of weaker enemies. This thing's pretty good. Not too bad. Okay, we'll keep going at this amount of health because it gives us a great benefit in many respects. So, if you are, you know, super unhappy to see it, be sure to complain about it in the comments. They will probably be ignored. There you go. So, looks like the one and done is happening quite a lot on these guys when I'm sneaking, so we'll continue to do that. Got to look out for the crazy laser gun person. Now, I've actually noticed that, sometimes when the things explode and other enemies are caught in the radius, you can actually get flaming damage over time on the people caught in the radius, which is actually useful. A little bit of synergy there. Nothing too great, but, you know, you would rather have it than not, right? So we're through those guys fairly easily. Now it's up to Swan. He's a little bit of a tanky guy. If he does run into a deep pond where we can't attack him, that will be problematic. So hopefully just kind of sneak up on him, and hopefully we don't lose our adrenaline buff by the time we get there. But if we can get him in his roaring animation, he'll be stationary for a second, and that'll make our job a little bit easier. We'll just go power attacks only. 1080, 1002. Got detected there because reasons, and luckily we're able to use serendipity there to completely bypass it and not get staggered either, which I think is super useful. Okay, now this is where it gets potentially dangerous because a lot of these fuckers do carry damage over time, but if we can whack them and make them fall apart in one single blow, then that's some good shit. They're going to eat the crackheads, so we'll use this time whilst they're distracted to get a couple of hits on them. Wow, the crazy laser gun person really doesn't do well. I must have gotten hit. I don't think I got hit. Maybe I'd have to watch it in post, but, well, it's pretty standard. But that's okay, because we get a full heal now. What are you looking at, Gulper? Judging me? Judging me on my terrible gameplay? Yeah, whatever. Well, that was stupid. That guy's dead, though. Kill this one easily. We might pick up Flap Limb because we're pretty sure I was close enough to get it. Tell you what, diseases kick in very quickly in the world of Fallout. Maybe it's the radiation that accelerates everything, right? I guess all of the diseases, though, kind of died out by the time of Fallout New Vegas because no one got sick in that game. Yeah, you can hit me all you want. I've got health for days. And, yeah, I think these Mirelurks are capable of blocking me, which I think is unfortunate. Especially when there's, like, a crackhead with a pipe wrench and it's able to block you. I think that's kind of dumb, actually. Anyways, we'll just hit this thing until it dies. Evidence for why nerfing melee was a bad thing, because you just get these moments where you're just sitting there going around in circles whacking at a Mirelurk Queen, where she is completely none the wiser until where you are. And be quiet, Reddit, alright? Be quiet, I'm recording. But, you know, we made it through. Died for it. Made it through, though. It's damage over time. It's just bullshit, so whatever. Okay, one final test, and one that we will use Enforcer to do. And, whilst I'm here, may as well get that on quick select so we can go back to it, rather than, you know, searching my Pip-Boy for it in a moment where I'm being attacked. And the, yes, the icon is an axe, just like a hatchet axe thingy, so yeah, that's what the weapon thing they started with, the little template. They just started with a hatchet and then went from there. Which, I guess it's functionally the same weapon, just with a few extra glowy bits on it, so that's fine. I'll be having that. No, I won't be. Okay, that's unfortunate. Okay, so he's hit us despite it being in caution. It's normal. And now we get to do this again. We'll try to find the head if we can, but it's not happening. Luckily for us, for me, I'm sneaky enough to get away with doing that the whole time. Good old unyielding and agility. I've got less agility now because I leveled up and everything. That should be that Scorched Beast ready to drop. We'll shoot at this one in the meantime whilst he's getting set up. Yep. Can still read their behavior. And we're back into caution, so we just hit this guy in the face until he dies. Or at least attempt to. They're looking like headshots, but they're not. This one we'll use the old VATS treatment on. And then get detected, apparently. Getting a bunch of extra radiation from these guys because we didn't really eat any of the protective stuff, so we'll do that. Not a huge deal, though, because I do have Radical on, so that's a little bit of extra strength. Maybe like 2% more damage. All helps. Also got something weightless. It's good script to weight ratio, won't complain. Other than it's terrible. We'll leave that one. Can't be bothered going back for him. We're going to pull a Scorched Beast out of this. Now, I'm hopefully thinking we can utilize what I've got out of follow through on this if we manage to pull him out. Doesn't look like that's the case. And that Eagle Eye Scorch is hitting me from all the way back there. Wow. It should be recruited as a Scorched Sniper Man. Because they all use sawn-off hunting rifles as well. Is that one cowering? Was it a shotgun he hit me with? Maybe he got a tight choke on the barrel before he turned scorched. Anyways, so there you have it. It's not a desperately great weapon. It's a furious swing speed though. There's obviously better variants out there, but it's just a weapon that it doesn't bring a lot to the table. It doesn't do a lot that another weapon doesn't do better already, or it doesn't do anything new that a lot of weapons don't already do. So for a grind, I mean, you gotta grind how long to get it, and then when you get it, you gotta spend 600 bullion to get it, which obviously you'll be earning that easily by the amount of days it takes you to get this thing, but it's just not all that interesting. There's not a lot that it does that I could recommend you actually finding, especially when there's weapons in the game that are superior that can already be traded and have existed since the start. So, yeah, look, if you haven't got this and you desperately want it, just put it on the back burner. You don't really need it. It's not that good. And on that note, see ya. Hope you're not disappointed by how much I was disappointed by this weapon. Bye.